So I thought I'd do a quick video on a topic that occasionally gets brought up, and that is to do with when parents approach us and say, my child wants to quit, what shall I do? The topic of conversation normally goes something like this. A parent will approach me and they'll say, I don't know what to do, little Johnny, I'm struggling to get him out of the house. He loves it when he's training, but I just can't seem to get him out of the house and I don't really want to force him to do anything. What do you recommend that I do? And if this has happened to you, it'll sound also familiar, but don't worry because you're not alone. Now, the very first thing that I recommend as a parent, what you do is to see if your child is enjoying it when they're actually in the class. So if they're smiling and they're having a good time whilst they're in the class, then it's obviously not the actual training, or it's not the actual the classes that are the problem. It would be something external. So that means it could be something like having to leave a nice warm house when it's cold outside. Perhaps they're just about to finish a level on their favourite computer game and then it's time to go train, or they want to watch. Actually, I have memories of wanting to watch TV programmes when I was a kid, and it was nearly time to go training, and I'd say to my dad, I don't want to go train, I don't like it. And it wasn't that I didn't like it, it's just that I wanted to, at that moment in time, I wanted to stop in my nice warm house and watch my favourite television programme. Now, all these things, being in a warm house, wanting to have dinner rather than go out train, all these things, if it happened to an adult, generally adults have the foresight to think, well, actually, I don't necessarily want to go training now, but I know it'll benefit me if I do go, and once I'm there I enjoy it and I get a sweat on, etc, etc. So adults will make themselves leave the house to go. Children don't. They live in the here and now, and often they find it difficult to verbalise or conceptualise what they're thinking at that moment. So the child won't think, oh, actually I enjoy training, it's just that I want to finish this level on the computer game. They won't think like that. They'll just think in the here and now, and they'll just say, I don't want to go training, and that's the end of the story. And generally it's not because they don't want to be at training, it's just that at that moment in time something is just a bit more appealing to them. This is why, as adults, as parents, we need to be the foresight for the child, be the foresight for your child that they don't have, and try and nudge them in the right direction. Now, this brings us on to the next question is, should you force your child to go training? Now, generally, there are two complete opposite camps with regards to this question. You'll have some parents who will be like, yeah, you're going training, stuff on, get out the door now, you have no say in it whatsoever. And then you have the other side, well, I can't force my child to do anything. I can't force them to go training, so I'll leave it completely up to them. And they're two completely different reactions to that predicament. I think the answer should be yes, force your child to go training if that you believe that the child is getting benefits from training, and also if the child enjoys training once they're on the mats. Remember, children don't often make the best life choices. If it were up to them, they'd be eating chips and ice cream every day and they'd wear superhero clothing every second of the day as well. So the answer is quite simple. If both of those, if the child is enjoying the class and you think that they're getting benefits from the class, then I think a resounding yes to the question, you should force your child to go training. However, I think it does get a bit trickier if one of those attributes are missing. As an example, if the child isn't enjoying the class, but they're massively getting some confidence or respect, or they're learning some good life skills, then the answer to whether you should force them to go training does get a little trickier. Now, generally, the benefits of martial arts training is universally accepted. So generally, it's normally an issue of whether the child enjoys it or not. And as an instructor, I can tell when a child is no longer enjoying the classes because they just sort of stand there, bit of a long face, moping around, don't really want to take part in anything. They're very lackluster with their techniques, and they're quite easy to identify and spot. However, generally speaking, in the classes, all the children love. They love the running, the interaction, the games, the punching, the kicking. They generally like all aspects of the class. Now, if as a parent, if you feel as though your child isn't getting any benefits and they're not enjoying the class, then point blank, let them stop, let them pursue another activity. But however, even if just one of those attributes there, if you think your child's getting benefits or if they are enjoying the classes when they're actually in them, then I would strongly advise to really contemplate whether you should allow your child to quit. And I would personally, I would encourage a child to continue training if one of those attributes are there. And the way the question is normally framed, parents normally say, little Johnny loves it while he's in the class, it's just I have trouble getting him out the house. Which to me seems to point to the evidence that it's not so much the training that a child dislikes, it's something external. Or sometimes it could be a certain element of the class, like like last time when they trained, they held a pad and one of the children kicked it and they hurt themselves, and that might just be resonating in their mind. So the next time they have to get ready for their class, instead of thinking about all the good stuff that they enjoy at training, it could be just that one little thing that put them off last time, and that is playing over and over and over in their mind, so they say they don't want to go. Or it could be that something silly like a child stuck their tongue at them or called them a name, or it could be something nothing really to do with the actual training itself. It could be just something else that can easily be resolved. Again, sometimes children aren't the best communicators, so sometimes you may need to dig a little deeper to try and suss out what the problem is. Another point quickly worth making is also the concept of force. Now, by force, we don't mean that your child is gripping onto the door frames and you've put the sole of your boot in their back and you're kicking them out the house and chucking them in the car to go training. By force, what we mean is that you're eliminating all other possibilities, whilst at the same time encouraging them and inspiring them to get out the house and go training. If you give most people, let alone children, if you give most people the chance of sitting in front of the television with a bowl full of junk food, watching, like I say, in the warm house, watching telly or playing video games, most people will choose that option over the prospect of leaving the house and going training and doing some physical activity. Most people would choose the former. So what we mean by force is by you're eliminating and removing the obstacles that could prevent the child from wanting to go training, i.e. don't let them play on video games just before training. Don't let them sit and watch television and get all comfy and drop off to sleep. Or don't cook them a big plate full of food and let them sit down and gorge on loads of junk food. And it's removing things like that and presenting the training in a more positive light. Like, instead of going, now, do you want to go training? And the child looks around and they're on the sofa and playing the video game and they're like, well, not really, no. It's right, kit on, let's go. Removing all those obstacles and presenting going training in a positive, normal light, which is just an everyday occurrence that is just expected from them. It's about putting steps and procedures in place that will allow the child to make a decision for themselves, which will hopefully help them to start thinking and acting more rationally and taking charge of important life decisions. Remember, children don't understand the concept of delaying gratification and doing short-term pain for long-term gains. Remember, as a parent, you need to be the foresight for your child that they don't currently have at this age. They may understand that they don't want to go training at that particular time, but they may not understand the reasons why. And it's up to adults, up to the parents to try and help uncover that for them. And make them realise that they actually do want to go training. They actually enjoy training. They enjoy the classes and the benefits they get from them. It's just normally at that moment in time, there's something that's stopping them. Now, I don't want to come across to preach on this topic. I don't want to question anyone's parenting skills. This is simply a question I get asked a lot at the centre, and I thought I'll just put this into a video format to address the question to everybody. I know it can be quite a complex topic, and I've just sort of brushed the surface with this. And I know, as most things, easier said than done. But as a general rule, as I've mentioned in this video, if your child is enjoying their training on the mats, or if you believe that they are getting benefits from their martial arts training, then you shouldn't make I don't think a snap decision should be made on as to whether a child should quit. And I really strongly suggest that if they're receiving good benefits and they're enjoying the classes once they're on the mats, then you try and do everything within your powers to get your child to the class. We all have, like I say, I've done it numerous times throughout my training, and still to this day I have ebbs and flows, peaks and troughs where I'm on top of the world, love my my training 1 minute, next minute I'm having to drag myself training because I can think of a million and one excuses not to. But as a sort of rationally thinking adult, I give myself a bit of a talking to and get myself up training. Children don't have that privilege with at their young age, so it's up to parents, and it's up to their social community to encourage them to do so and to get over that. So I hope this video was interesting, and I hope it helped you in any way. And as always, leave any comments. I'll be interested to hear from you. See you soon.